and then I'll send. Okay, perfect. So, let me pull up her email one more time. She said that you wanted to be trained on the basics. Uh,
Yes.
so on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you fall?
1.
1? Okay, no
I've
problem.
never done anything in InDesign. I don't really, Bree showed me a few things just like briefly when I got here, just kind of like what the KBA does with it and stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have no experience in it.
Okay, no problem. Do you have Adobe right now on the computer that you're on?
I believe so.
Okay, so go ahead and pull that up, and the best way to start learning is to start
Okay.
doing. So we're gonna do a small project and then go from there.
So I'm going to share my screen with you, right? I'll share that.
Sure.
Did, is this what you mean?
Yes, that's
Okay.
InDesign. So go ahead and get that downloaded if it's not already.
Oh wait, maybe it's this one. How do I do that? Okay. This is the one that,
Yes. Yep.
okay.
Correct. Okay, so perfect. So let's get started with starting a new file. So what we're going to accomplish is a basic flyer, like an infographic that you want to print and post on your bulletin board in the office, something like that.
Okay.
So let me see that we're on the right track though.
Okay.
Pictures, PDF. Yep, flyer. Okay, so let's do that. Let's work on a flyer. So go ahead and hit File, New. Yep, that works
That
too.
one?
New
Okay.
file. So if you notice to the right when it says in units, it's in picas. Um, I don't know what that is. If you do, you
Okay.
can tell me, but I do know
No
inches.
idea.
So I'm gonna change it to inches.
Okay. Inches?
Yes. Okay, 8.5 by 11. That I can work with.
Okay.
Okay, so do you see right below that where it says facing pages?
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and unclick that.
Okay. Is it that?
Basically
Okay.
what facing pages is when you have like a book, right? So like
Mhm.
if you're designing like a planner, you're gonna do
Okay.
both sides. But in this case,
Oh.
since we're just doing one flyer, we don't want to have that on.
Okay.
So just one page, one gutter is fine. Margins at 0.5 is good. Keep scrolling down. And bleed. So bleed typically is basically how you get your artwork all the way to the edge.
Okay.
Um, for example, see this little business card?
Yes.
Okay, so see how the green goes all the way through, all the way?
Mhm.
So basically what that's possible because when we're working in InDesign, the artwork is extended out. And when it's printed, have you ever noticed when you try to print in full color, your paper comes out still with a white border?
Yes.
Okay, so that's because printers do not print all the way to the edge. So that's
Okay.
what bleed is for. So when you
Okay.
extend the artwork, that's knowing that that's going to be cut off. And
Mm.
you'll see what I mean later. So typically, standard bleed is 0.125. If you, yep, yours are linked. So if you just go to the top where it says bleed and click that arrow button once, go ahead and
Wait.
click that again.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, do you see top? Yep.
Oh, this right
Oh,
here.
nope, that's margins. Go
Oh,
back down.
bleed.
There it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then click that top arrow once,
Okay.
and there it is. It's standard.
Okay, cool.
If you want, you can hit preview before you create it. That way you can see what it is that you're making.
Okay.
So actually go ahead and hit preview right now.
Where is that at? Oh, right here.
Right there.
Okay. And then hit create. Oh, I guess
No, not
it's,
yet. Yeah. So do you have a double monitor?
I do not know. I'll just
Okay,
move
no,
that.
no worries. Yeah, just move that. And then do you see,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that's what our document is going to look like.
Okay.
So go ahead and hit create now.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Oh, great. So you have a little starter tour. Go ahead and go through that. I
Okay.
think that these are always beneficial, especially when they're constantly coming up with updates. I also
Yeah.
look at these. Yeah, so these are drawing shapes, text designs, etc. Go
Okay.
ahead. Let's see, make all edits in one place. Simply select an object and you can edit. Yep, we know that.
Alrighty.
Okay, so let's start with a basic title.
Okay. So then
Let's,
would I
yep,
go to this text box then? Is that what they,
yep, exactly. So
and then
go
just
ahead. Yes. I'm gonna have you stop sharing your screen so that I can share my screen,
okay.
and then you can follow me.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. So I wonder if we can multiple participants can share simultaneously. Oh, love that. Let's see if we can. Yep,
Oh, there
okay,
we go.
perfect.
Try to make this a little smaller. Oh, I see now. Okay.
Okay, so it says that I'm screen sharing. Are you able to share your screen too?
Oh, let me see. I think so. Okay, so I want to share this. Did that work?
I don't see it.
Oh, it's loading. Hang on. Sorry, I'm not very high tech with Zoom either.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Still loading. That's weird.
Try it again, and when it pops up where it says select a window to share, select just the InDesign. So instead of sharing the screen, share the InDesign.
So then, um, screen sharing is paused.
Let me try stop sharing my screen and then you try it. Okay, I
Okay.
do see yours is shared now.
Okay.
So let me try sharing my screen. Your screen share is loading. Oh, okay. Is that what the message that you received?
Yeah, that was what mine was saying too.
Oh, well, I did click it so that multiple of us can share simultaneously. Oh, dual monitors recommended. No, well, it says recommended. It's not,
Do I need a
uh,
dual monitor?
uh, I don't think so because it says it's not recommended, so I don't know why. Okay. Um, if you don't mind, go ahead and stop sharing your screen for a second. I'm
Okay.
gonna share mine and then try to follow along.
Okay.
So I'm gonna look up something that we can try to copy just to see if we can create it.
Okay.
Usually with InDesign, I work with like editorials, postcards, signs, things like that,
Mhm.
um, which is probably what you'll be doing as well in InDesign and in your position. So let's see. Okay, so here's one that I like. So I'm going to screenshot this and then paste it in there just so that you can see what we're trying to copy here. Ugh. Okay, so we're gonna try to recreate this.
Okay.
That's just a screenshot, so that's why it's
Right.
okay. So I'm gonna put this on the second page. So to create a second page, here are our pages. So if you want to
Mhm.
locate that on yours,
Oh, yes. Maybe I can like get out of this and still see yours.
Oh, then yes, you do need a second monitor because you need to be able to follow along and
What
do it
do you want me
well.
to like kind of follow like what you're doing? And
Yes.
then once you share the recording with me, I could like work on this after this and then send it
Okay.
over to you. I don't know. That's a because I don't have a dual monitor. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That works.
Okay.
So let's try to recreate this. So I'm going to
I
create a new,
can
go ahead.
for our next meeting, I can see if Bree wouldn't let me mind using like her dual monitor for it
Yeah.
if we need it. Or maybe they have one somewhere that they could set me up on for
Oh yeah, the workroom probably has an old monitor
yeah,
or something.
somewhere
Yeah.
probably. But I'll make sure I try to have that for Thursday's meeting if that works.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
I'll just
and
take notes.
again, Thursday, the next time we meet will also be at 1:30, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so looking at this thing here, it looks
Mhm.
like we have 3 sections, what I like to call a grid, and you'll hear about this in web design as well.
Okay.
Basically, everything is just perfectly in a grid format, and the best example of that is probably YouTube desktop.
Hmm.
If you go to YouTube desktop, you can tell how everything is just organized. Once you start paying attention, it's all on a grid between rows and columns. So it would ideally fit perfectly in an Excel spreadsheet, let's say, because it's
Okay.
all on a grid. So
Hmm.
in this case, I see that there is a grid here. There are 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. And then here's 2 columns here, 1 and 2. So let's start with the first one. Um, that looks like a shape, right? So I'm just
Hmm.
gonna go ahead and do that first by hitting uh, M for the rectangle tool,
Okay.
and I'm gonna drag it all from my bleed. So that red section is your bleed. This purple section is your margin. So what's going to be printed will be on this white part. However, when you export this to print, it'll export it with this extra bit with the idea that you're going to cut that off.
Okay.
So that's why we do have to extend the artwork.
Okay,
Okay.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So the
Hmm.
red line is for bleed, and then you said the
Yes,
purple line was what?
margin.
Okay.
So in theory, this should be safe, but if you want to be really, really safe, keep all the important information inside the margin.
Okay.
Okay, so this is empty. There's no color to it, and I can see that by over here, no color to it. If I click on it, I can pick up a color. If I press cancel, I scroll down, I'm going to click on it again, double click it, and then I'm going to click this sample tool. They're all different sometimes. Sometimes you have to
Hmm.
click and drag, and this one's a click and drag. So click and hold until you come over here and get that color. Press OK.
Okay.
Okay, and now that is
Oh,
green as well. So that could, if that doesn't happen, it's because it wasn't selected. So see
okay.
how I don't have it selected here?
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna go down, eyedropper tool, press OK. It didn't do anything because
Yeah.
it wasn't selected. So you have to
Okay.
select it. Oh, it looks like it's already on there. Okay, then let's keep going. So we're gonna do another shape. And I see it at the bottom too. So I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this. So with this, I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna hold and press Alt key so that I can copy it.
Okay.
So see how my cursor turned into double cursors?
Yeah.
That's basically telling me that I'm gonna make a copy here. But the
Okay.
key is you have to press down and hold it while you do it. So if you do that, you can make a copy.
Okay.
And if you do it simultaneously while holding the shift button, then you can go straight down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to just use this handle here while it's selected and then kind of just squish it in there.
Hmm.
Make this a little bit smaller. Yep, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more. Then I'm gonna go ahead, let's see what else I can do. I think I'm just gonna make one more with that yellow one,
Yeah.
which again, I'm gonna just, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can just keep copying and keep going down and changing this how you want to change it.
Okay.
Or you can hit the shape button, the rectangle
Mhm.
tool here, and do it again. If you do it that way, let me click the select button, let me click away so that nothing is selected.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to my color and I will take a sample of that yellow. Then if I go to my rectangle tool again, I can create a brand new one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then this can move down. Yep. Okay. And I'm gonna keep this one empty for now. It
Mhm.
looks like it's just white. Yeah, it's just white. Oh, by the way, that's a trick that I use sometimes to see how it would look after printing when it's all
Okay.
cleaned up with no
I know, I was
margin
wondering, I was
line.
like, whoa, what just happened there?
Yeah. So that I do by pressing W,
Okay.
and then that's how it looks without
So you just hit
any.
W and it just kind of
Mhm.
shows you what it, okay.
Yep. And then if I hit W again, it's back to my working file. So let's keep going. If you notice in the background, there's nothing there. So what I'm gonna do is do one big white rectangle. And I like to do that just to make sure that I have everything that I need. So just for example, if it comes out like this, because mistakes are made all the time,
Mhm.
but then when you go to print, then there's nothing there. And then if you want the green to go all the way to the edge, it won't. And that can get,
Okay.
it can be a little annoying. But
Yeah, I believe it.
so what I'm gonna do is just make a giant white one that goes in the back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna press copy by Control C, and then I am just going to, actually, sorry, scratch that. I'm gonna go to white and then go to the rectangle and then just make a giant one all across the board here. Boom. And if I want to send it to the back, it's not as easy as it is on Canva or anywhere else,
Mhm.
as far as I know. So you have to open the layers button,
Okay.
which is going to be look like this if it's not already popped out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to select it. Okay, so now I know it's this one. I'm going to go ahead and rename that by double clicking.
Mhm. Wait, what is layer one then?
Uh, all the stuff that we've been working on
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
by rectangle. Okay, and I'm just going to click and drag that to the bottom.
Okay.
And I'm also going to rename everything else because I don't want to get lost. So I'm going to call this the top green rectangle, and I can just do that. And same here. What is this one? Okay, it's the next one. Oh, I get so annoyed sometimes it doesn't work on the double click.
Is that how you rename that, is double clicking?
Yeah,
Okay.
I promise you. That's not.
No, you're good.
Okay, see, I don't know what mid green rectangle, and lastly yellow. Yellow rectangle. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna make a couple of more, this one and this one.
Mhm.
So with this one, I'm just gonna make a copy and scooch it over. So I'm gonna click on it to make sure that it's selected. I'm gonna press Alt and hold it. I'm gonna press Shift and hold it and drag it to the other side, all the way until I reach the bleed.
Okay.
Then I'm going to grab this just by hovering it over it and drag it to where I think it works. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to scroll down so that I can grab that color. Okay, beautiful. Same thing with this one. I'm just going to copy this one and move up. So hold Shift, hold Alt, and go up all the way like that. I wonder if you could press I. Oh, great. By pressing I, you can just go like this, but it has to be selected, keep in mind.
Okay.
Okay,
So
perfect.
to like copy it, you just, is it the same for like any computer? Is it just Shift Alt?
Not all the time, even within the own
Okay.
Adobe products, like so far, Control C, Control V, Control Z, which is like copy, paste, undo, seems to be universal across the board.
Okay.
But even within like Adobe products, sometimes it's going to be different for transforming within Illustrator versus transforming in Photoshop. I wish it was the same across the board, but it's not. So I hope that kind of answers your question there.
Yeah,
But
no, you're good.
let's see what else we have. Okay, that's pretty good. And if I look at yep. Okay, so now let's talk about text. We'll come back to icons
Okay.
whenever, but for now, let's just look at text. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock this layer, which is just gonna be like my background. Let me
Okay.
rename that. Background, lock it, and then
So
we're
when
gonna
you
go to,
lock it, then like none of it will move.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So then I'm gonna go to the next layer, and that's gonna be all the stuff that we work on now. So let's work on the top portion here. We're gonna do all your finances in one place. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is hit T for text box, and then just click and drag. And then I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. All your finances in one place. Okay, so there it is. That does not look anything like what we have. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this again. I'm gonna go to properties right here to the top right.
Okay.
All right, so then this should pop up. And I'm gonna change the character right here. Let me see what that looks like. That to me looks like Myriad Pro, let's say.
So
So
properties is like all of your like text options and stuff like
yep,
that. Okay.
exactly. Okay, and then let's change it to white so that we can see it. And it's not gonna, when you're changing color in text, it's not gonna be the same as changing the color of your object.
Okay.
So see over here how it says it's no color, no color. That's because it's referring to the object itself. So we have to click on T for text.
Oh, okay.
So if we click on this T, I can see that it's black.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna change that to white, dragging all the way up here, and then sliding this bar all the way to the top.
Oh, okay.
So now it's white. But if I did the box, watch what happens. See, it's
Oh,
just right. So
okay.
that's why we don't do that.
Yeah.
Or we don't do it that way. I mean, sometimes you'll find that that's what you want. So,
Right.
okay, so let's keep going. And unfortunately, like in Photoshop and everywhere else, if you grab this corner, this will make the text larger. That is not the case in InDesign. So what you need to do is click on it, make sure that you have your properties panel open, go down to your character, and this should be your text size. So that's 12. I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to 48. Nope, too big. 30. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yep. And so with the text box, sometimes it doesn't fit the way that you want it to fit. So for example, I can see that the word in is actually on this spot when I scroll down. It's over here. So what I do is just grab this and move it over this way. And it'll force your text to move down. And I'm noticing as well that the text actually isn't white. It's this off beige color. So what I'll do is I'll grab, there's a couple ways you can do it. So while it's selected, I'm going to hit the text. I'm going to double click this. I'm going to click and drag the sample tool to that beige and then press OK. Another way to do it is see up by your properties up here, swatches. If you don't see that, you're going to want to go to window and make sure that it's selected.
And what is that called?
Swatches.
Swatches. Okay.
It should already be on there, but your workspace should be on essentials. Okay, whatever, it's there. So let's go to swatches. These are all the colors that I have. So I'm going to grab this color, this beige one. Oh, and it looks like it's already on my color. Double click, and I'm going to hit add CMYK swatch. And then you notice here that it's added there. I'm going to go ahead and do that for the rest of the colors that I see as well, because it'll make it a lot easier when I want to adjust colors. So I'm going to click on this green one. Oh, and it's locked. So let's go back to the layers, which is up here to the right. Unlock it. Click this. I'm going to open up my swatches again so you can see. This, double click here, add to swatches. There you go. And let's do that to the yellow. Okay, so don't forget to lock that layer again. Okay, so I have these three colors to work with. So now if I want to click on this and I, suddenly want to make it pink, they're the classic mistake already. So see how I didn't have the text highlighted? So I'm going to undo that, click the text, and then make it, yellow or green. Or what have you. So I'm going to go ahead and do back to that. 0, 0, 0, that's white. So let me add that swatch again. Okay, there it is. So right here. So I'm going to click this again, make sure I have the text selected, go on over to my swatches and highlight that one so that I can get that color. And then it looks like they have one of the words a different color. So I'm going to hit T again for text. And I'm just going to click in here and highlight this one word. And then just click, yep, I have my text selected. Click the yellow. And then to get out of this, you're going to click the arrow again. And then here we are. So we're getting closer to what we are trying to achieve. So let's keep it going. We are the future of your business. A couple of things you can do here. Either create another text box, which again, you could easily do by holding Alt Shift and clicking and dragging it down. And you can put, we are the future of your business. So let's do that. Control A for highlighting everything. Okay, so this little thing is telling me that there's an error, and you can see it here too, that there's an error. Because my text is not visible. So what I can do to get rid of this error is drag this out or drag it out this way. Personally, I don't like it when it hyphenates my words for me,
Oh,
even
you
if
are?
it, okay, so what we do is make sure that it's highlighted, go to the properties, scroll down. I accidentally changed okay, so scroll down. This was my mistake. My mouse has a wheel,
Uh-huh.
so I was hovered over this while scrolling down. So then it was
Oh.
scrolling through all the fonts. See that?
Oh, okay. I mean, that's an easy way to scroll through without having to click on all of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, it is. It comes in handy, but if that's not what you're trying to do, it can get annoying.
Right.
But if you scroll down, go scroll down, you'll see here under paragraph,
Okay.
hyphenate is clicked on, is the box
Mhm.
is checked. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that box. And
Okay.
now when I toggle my text box, it does not,
Oh.
um, right, it does not hyphenate my words. So I'm going to, I see that it's bold. I'm going to make this regular. And this isn't the exact font, I can tell. Might actually a different one that I really like called Montserrat. Regular. Oh yeah, that looks a little bit more. Okay, let's see. Kind of. It doesn't matter too much. This is just a,
Right.
when you're creating your own, you'll be able to, you know, make
Mhm.
your own decisions on um what font you want to use.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have, in changing the font, this changed as well, and now it's
Mhm.
giving me an error because we can't see anything. And then also with this text box in particular, I don't think that I did the whole yep, I didn't unhyphenate it. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
check that.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna move this text box to be able to fit everything in one place. So that's one way to do it, where I have
Okay.
two different text boxes. If I press W, I can see that it's coming together pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so I can show you the other way, I'm gonna do it over here. I'm gonna make this one longer, and then I'm gonna double click inside. That's a little trick to get you shortcut to the text tool.
Yeah.
Press enter, and I'm just gonna start typing. Oh, this is a bug that's going on right now where it's not working.
Oh. Also, does this like update quite often, or is this like pretty
Yes,
it does?
yeah, it does. With this latest update, this is what the bug I've noticed,
Okay.
that I'll start typing in something and it's like it's not there, it's not there. So what I
Oh.
did to fix that is just click right next to the sentence that I last was at and then press the
Yeah.
delete button and then it suddenly appears like, okay.
Oh.
So then I'll just highlight this and change the font to something different, regular or light, stuff like that. The reason that I don't always do this is because sometimes I want to move this down a little bit further. I like that spacing rather than that spacing.
Right.
That's not to say that you can't do that here.
Hmm.
You can, go in here just up to that part and
Yeah.
then adjust this setting here,
I kind
which,
of like how you did like the separate boxes so you can like move it to where you want.
yeah, I like that a lot too, because this is, you have to play with it, and then
Oh, okay. I see what you're. Okay.
so then, yeah, so I personally do like doing this better, two different text boxes
Yeah.
versus having to finagle it. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Okay, so let's see what else we have. We have this button and that button. Okay, so let's work on the online button.
Sorry, this might be a dumb question. How
No,
are you like zooming in and zooming out? Is that just like the scroll on your mouse?
yeah, I wouldn't know how to do it if my mouse didn't have a scrolly wheel. But
Okay.
basically, I'm just holding down the Alt.
Oh, to this. Okay.
And wherever
Here,
your mouse is where it's going to,
zoom in at.
yeah.
Okay. So you just hold the Alt key to zoom in and zoom out. Okay.
Yep. And then that's zooming in and zooming out. And then going side to side is Control and scrolling wheel. So if I press and hold Control, what? Okay, well now it's doing it. So if I
Wait,
press and
so
hold,
sorry, say that again. What was it?
press and hold Control, and then you do the scrolly wheel, and it'll go left to right.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so let's look at this button here online. So I'm gonna scroll in. I'm gonna go to my shape tool.
Mhm.
If you right click, you'll be able to see the other ones that you can do. I'm
Okay.
gonna keep it with the rectangle. I see that it's black. I don't want it to be black, so I'm gonna hit this beige color here on my swatches.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to create a small little button, just like that. And then I'm going to just start typing in there. So while it's still selected, that's when I hit the T button, and that will bring up the text tool. And
Mhm.
then I click inside of it, and then I'll be able to start typing. So online. And it's back to this like serif Times New Roman looking font. So I'm going to change it to match what we have here, which I just know is like a Montserrat one. Let's do bold. Okay, so almost there. This is centered. It's all caps, and the rectangle is rounded. So
Mhm.
let's keep going. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to my properties on the right side. I'm going to go to paragraph. I'm going to hit the center text, align center. So there you go with that. And then to get it to align to the middle here of our rectangle, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because I kind of forgot. So
No, you're good.
give me a moment. No. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot how to do that. Okay, no worries. We're just not going to do that. We're going to delete that,
Mhm.
create a new text box. Oh, I just noticed that I selected the green one, which means I didn't have that layer locked. Okay, so I'm going to create a new text. Oh, apparently you can do that. It doesn't have to be selected. Okay, so
Okay.
what I'm going to do is go on the outside over here and create a text box and put online. Same thing that I showed you earlier.
Mhm.
You just go to your paragraphs, make sure it's in the center, switch the font. Sure. And then I can make that a little bit smaller so that doesn't have all this extra space. And I do that because when I want to center it here, an easy way to do that is to select both the text box and the shape.
Okay.
The way to do that is to select the text box, and you have to press and hold Shift to select something else simultaneously. Because if you don't, if I select online, the text box, and then I select the shape box, this is now no longer selected. But if I hold down Shift while this is selected, I can also now select this text box. So see
Okay.
how now they're both selected?
So shift to select multiple.
To select multiple objects. So if you scroll down to the right side on properties, you'll see here the align part. If I do it, I want it in the center, right? So align vertical in the center. Let me just make sure that it's aligned horizontally. Now it's in the center. Now if I align vertically, it says that it's already aligned. But the thing is, it's not. I can visually see that it's not.
Yeah.
So that's because your text box is all this. And that's why I shorten this as much as I can without losing the text. So I select these two and then try it again. Go to align, and then now it's perfectly centered. Press W, that looks pretty good. The other thing I noticed is that it's all caps down here, all capital letters. So you don't have to retype this. You can just click on it, go back to your properties. Right here under character, I'm going to select this first one, which is all caps. And I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And making it bigger, of course, caused an error because now we can't see it. And we're going to have to align it again. But that's okay, no problem. Okay, now it's looking a little bit more like something that we're used to. The black font, I need to change it to green. So I'm going to make sure again that the text is highlighted here for my colors. I'm just going to hit this swatch of green that we already predefined. Okay, perfect. Now let's look at this shape. We need a rounded corner, right? So we're going to work in properties a lot. So this learning all of this is pretty much your best friend. But for now, we have the rectangle, the beige rectangle selected. We're going to go over here, our properties, right here where it says corner.
Yeah.
Click on that. This is going to be something that you're going to want that preview selected for because it's a playing game. You have to play with it. So I'm going to select, right now it was at none. Let me go back to 0. So these are all linked because we want both of them we want all 4 corners to round out.
Right.
If I didn't have them linked, then it would be just one corner rounded.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me link that up. So they're all now on rounded, but you can see that it's not. So that's because we didn't define how much we wanted it rounded. It's still at 0. So if I just click on these numbers here, if I wanted something like that where it's just the little corners, but I do want the whole tube looking thing.
Yeah.
So I want to see how far, yeah, we don't need to go that far because it already gave it to us at 0.5, 0.25. Yeah, at 0.25. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, now if I scroll away, yep, that looks more like what we're trying to do. And now I can do that entire thing again, or I can select both of these, hold Shift and hold Alt so that I can click and drag this. And now I have 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I need to change this to look like that. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, change it to the yellow, change the text, what does it say? Accessible? Okay. So double click in here so that I can accessible. And then go ahead and hit the direct selection or the selection tool, and then just widen this out to make it visible.
Is
I'm
there
kind of
like,
a
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
This might be a dumb question too, but is there like a spell check? Like, say you created it and you just want to like double check everything is spelled correctly. Is there like a spell check button that'll go in, or is that just like you kind of just have to do it?
That is a great question. So right here, it doesn't do it automatically the way Word does
Okay,
because it can get annoying. Sometimes can't think of any businesses that like don't spell things correctly
right.
um on purpose. Like
Hmm.
if you're trying to do that, it would be kind of annoying. But here I misspelled this one. But that's a great question. Check your work. That's going to be under edit,
Okay.
spelling,
Hmm.
and then check spelling.
Okay.
And then it'll show up right here like, hey, this, do you want to change it to one of these two?
Hmm.
And I'm going to say, yeah, change it to this one. And then it changes it for you.
Okay.
Um, Somehow it says online is not in the dictionary. Oh, it wants us to capitalize it. Okay, sure. And then that's it. Done.
Okay. I was just
I
curious, just like if like you ever like work on just something like the business didn't really give you, and like you need to just I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is
Because I didn't
something
know if
that
it like auto corrected, I guess, on here or not.
as far as I know, no. 'Cause like even now I just hit autocorrect and I can see that my cursor is like doing something because it's like, yeah, I'm working at it, but I
Yeah.
don't see it actually like I intentionally spelled this
Right.
wrong. Um yeah, it's not autocorrecting. I wonder if that's more of like the same way that it works on your phone, like as you're typing.
Hmm.
Let's just see if that works. Okay, so let me hit autocorrect so that we can test that. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. I don't like it.
Okay. I was just curious. I
So
didn't know if like I don't know. I was just curious, I guess.
yeah, I guess it's not that smart, but yeah, just go to edit, spelling, spell check, or
Okay.
like it says control I.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's keep going. Again, we're gonna come back to this. Um, so the rest I feel like you would be able to do
Hmm.
on your own. So do you want to tell me how I would achieve this? Let's
Sure.
move this up here because kind of okay.
Okay. So with like the we're gonna start with like the tannish looking box, I guess, right? Like
Yeah.
really great place. Okay. Okay, so you go to text.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And then you create a box and type really great place in it.
Okay. Yeah. So you can do that, but that's a lot of doing the same
Oh,
thing
wait, can
over
you
and
just
over.
copy and drag like
Yes.
one of the, okay,
Yep.
yep. Okay,
Okay, so
so then
that's what I'm
that's
gonna do.
Shift Alt, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then what else?
Then you would change the, since it's, you would change the color of
Sure.
the text, so you need to
Yep.
lock the text in, right?
Yep. So how do we change the color of the text?
You click on the, sorry, I'm like pointing, I'm like, you probably can't see me pointing. The T underneath like the boxes over, yeah, that T formatting, yeah.
Okay.
And then you're gonna click the box underneath the T with the color, right? Or I guess
Okay.
that's the color. Click on it. Does that change it? Oh, or would you click the box above the T with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, hey, okay, okay.
Yep.
And then,
Or you could also don't forget that you can just go over to the right and hit your swatches.
oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, what else?
And
Oh.
then change the wording to really great place. And then you're gonna make the box a little smaller to move it over to where you want it. And then you would, how would you get great on the bottom? It'd be in properties, right? To try to move the great to the bottom, right?
You can, I think, but you could just do this.
Oh, and then like, okay.
Or, double click, backspace, hit enter.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And then, is that it? I feel like.
Yeah,
Okay,
that looks good.
perfect.
I'm
And
gonna
then would you
make,
just copy that and then drag another one underneath of it and then type the next in, right? And then you'd make the text smaller, which is
how?
underneath properties,
Okay,
probably, I don't know, 10 point, right?
okay. Yeah, pretty good. What
Okay.
else?
And then you would type all that in there, right? I think it's the same font color.
Yeah, there's something else. And I'll show you when I type in some text here.
Okay.
What do you think?
You need to make it longer, like make
Okay.
the box longer, sorry. Um, it looks lined up. Um, does it
What
need to
I'm
scoot over for the image?
a little, yeah. I think they can both go down a little. So I'm gonna scoot this over like that.
Okay.
And then this, actually this whole thing looks like it could go over just a little bit for that image. So I had to unselect the background,
Mm-hmm.
unlock it so that I can move it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna click on that, and I'm gonna click on this as well. Oh, this one's on top, that's why. But yeah, this could work like this. Shift, I'm holding it over. But what
Okay.
I was saying is this is in bold.
It's in what?
Bold. It's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
bold.
So it needs to be like unbolded. So that would be, I don't know where that's at on there. Is it, um, I
Yeah,
guess
so
I don't know where the
you're
bold's
close.
at.
I can tell you were close. So I'm gonna double click on it, Control
Yeah.
A to select
Okay.
all of it. And then here is this is the main character, but then these are the character styles. So I
Okay.
can go from thin to light. It also all depends on the
A lot
font.
of styles.
Yeah, some fonts only have regular bold italic. This one
Okay.
has a lot. I'm just gonna go to regular
Okay.
and then click the selection tool up here to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And then that looks a little bit closer to what we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what I put in here is just dummy text. Have you heard
Yeah.
of this before? Okay,
No, I have not, but that's what it kind of looked like. I don't
yeah.
know how to do any of that.
This one, sometimes I just look up this this word, lorem ipsum, and
Mm-hmm.
it's used by designers all the time. So it's just so that you can have example text and editable text for later. So if you just Google it, there should be like lorem ipsum generators, and you can select how many paragraphs and all of that. So yeah, you'll just want to like
Okay.
Google that, and you'll find it pretty easily. Okay, so let's work on this one.
Okay.
So how
So
do I
you're
make
gonna
this one?
copy the really great place over since it's already in like the same font and stuff. So that's gonna
Yeah.
be Shift Alt
Okay.
and then drag it over
Okay.
and then retype the word mission in there. And then you're gonna make the box smaller. And then center it or just leave it? Just leave it.
I
And then
would
drag
just
it.
move it down. Yeah.
Okay. And then I think that's good, right?
Hmm.
And then you're gonna copy or so Shift Alt that, yeah, that box right there,
Mm-hmm.
and then drag it,
Okay.
and then make it a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm. But now it's giving me an error.
Oh, because not all the words are on there.
Yeah. So
So
perfect. Just
would you,
delete some of it.
okay,
When you're making something that has real words and you can't just delete some of it,
yeah,
play around with it.
okay,
Move this up, drag this out, you just have
yeah,
to play.
okay.
Okay, so let's keep going.
Okay, so then for the green box, you're gonna copy, or yeah, Shift Alt the really great place text and then
Hmm.
drag it down.
Yeah, so instead of doing them one at a time, I'm gonna grab both of these. So
Okay.
click
Oh, so
and
that
then
would, okay, that
yeah,
makes sense.
shift and click on this next one, and then alt and shift drag
Oh,
to the
okay.
bottom. Oh, now I can't see it. Why is that?
Oh, because it's green, so you're going to change
Yeah.
the text. So you can go to the swatches, right? Or
Hmm.
click
Well,
text
first
and
click
then,
the, yeah, first
yeah,
make sure that this is clicked.
and then swatches and change it to, it looks like that, yeah, that
Yeah.
tannish color, beige color, I don't know.
Hmm.
And then type in user friendly, and it looks like it's a different, or
Wait.
smaller font. So would it be like thin?
Yeah, let's change it to thin. Maybe regular.
Yeah, maybe a little,
Okay.
yeah. And
And
then,
this one looks like it's just dragged out a little bit
yeah.
more, but that's looking a little too close here, so I'm just
Mhm.
gonna move that down a little.
Okay.
Okay, now
And
what about
then,
the
oh,
last
so
one?
we could probably just do the same thing. So shift and then click the first text box, or is that already one after you do it the first time?
Is that what's the question?
Sorry. So like after, like from the really great place and the text underneath of it, so like you shift and then you clicked one and then you click the other one and then you dragged it down. So is that still two separate boxes in a sense, or is that
Yes.
one box? Okay. So then you do the
Yeah.
same thing. So shift and then click the other one and then drag it.
Hmm.
Oh, and then since it's, so then go to the text over here, click text, and then the swatches, change it to green,
Hmm.
and then change the wording in there to call for an appointment.
Okay.
Looks like it's similar font, so it should be fine, I think. But does this need to be smaller?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like this needs to be smaller for sure.
So if you change the like the size on that one, do you change them on all of them? Or is it just like not
It's
necessarily?
yeah, not necessarily. That's
Okay.
up to you. What,
Okay.
what looks best for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna change this, and I notice here that the space between the first line and the
Mhm.
second line is practically non-existent. Whereas
Mhm.
here we have, space for, I don't know, edits. So that can be changed over here on the character.
Oh, okay.
So it's on auto right now, so it'll just do it for you automatically. But if you do click your own, see how it just like moves it up,
Oh, yeah.
or it'll move it like super away, super far. So on auto, it was around 32.
Mhm.
I'm gonna change it to, let's see what happens at 30, and then I'm just gonna kind of use this button here to kind of keep going to where I like it. So it looks like
Okay.
22 is a good
Mhm.
one. So I'm gonna change this other ones too, just because I
Yeah.
like it. So I'm holding shift and selecting all the ones that I want to change that.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah.
so then I'm going to just type in 22. And then they should all kind of align. And I don't like it, so I'm going to do undo because this is touching way too much.
Yeah.
So we're just going to leave it like that.
Okay.
But with this one, I do like it right there just because I was telling you about the grid. There's also grids within grids, which is what makes everything look nice.
Mm-hmm.
So see how this text and this text are aligned? That's because we have a grid even in this small box here. We have one column and now we have two columns.
Okay.
Same here. This one only has one column, but everything is aligned.
Mm-hmm.
So here between user friendly and call for appointment, you can tell that it's top aligned. And I can I can verify that by dragging a ruler. So next is that phone number just looks a little bit too small. So I just change it up here.
Okay.
That looks good. And then
So is this kind of like where you would use that size difference in the phone number and the email? Or do you just hit enter?
say that again. Oh, I just hit enter. I just hit
okay.
enter. Email@email.com. There we
Yeah.
go. Okay, and then lastly, really great place. How would we go about doing that?
What?
How would you go about doing that?
I would just go to, I guess you could just click on user friendly and then hit Shift Alt and drag
Okay.
that box down there. And
Okay.
then make it a little bit smaller, like drag it out and then shorten it.
Okay.
And then or I guess, I don't know what happened.
It's because I had pressed enter for the first one for the user
Oh,
friendly. So I'm
okay.
gonna backspace, like delete that
Oh,
way.
okay. And then you're gonna change the text font. So you need to go to the T, make sure it's on text, and then hit the swatches and hit it green.
Okay.
And then center it. So that is, yep, underneath paragraph. And then change the font size to, yeah.
That works.
And then all caps, it looks like it's in.
Yep.
And then type in really great place. And then it looks like it's probably smaller than 30 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Okay. So from here, I can tell that it's not centered. So what I'm going to do is just click on it, and then the properties should show up. If I scroll down to align, if I aligned it to, let's say, the right, it's not going to do anything because this here is you telling it what you want to align it to.
Okay.
So I can, just because I know the icons already, it's aligning to selection. And since I only have one thing selected, nothing is happening. But if I hold that shift, let's do this rectangle up here. So now I have these two things selected. If I wanted to align this to the selection, let's say I'll hit this align left, and then it'll change it. It was already there, but see how this text box is here?
Yeah.
So according to the program, it's already aligned left.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just shorten that. And you can do it this way, or you can press and hold Alt and it'll do both sides for you. So see how I'm doing both sides.
Okay.
Okay, so now when I do it, hold Shift and hit something else, I'll hit, let's say, align left. And because it's aligning to the selection, it'll move that over. But that's not what I want. I want it in the center of the entire page. So I'm just going to hit this, and then I'm going to tell it to don't align to the selection, align it to the page. And then now when I center it, it'll be centered to the page.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So again, you want to use that to align the selection, just so that you make sure that everything falls perfectly. Like it would look like this looks nice.
Yeah.
But if I had it like this, something's off about it. My brain thinks it's wacky and I want to get away. Right? So it's because you're not paying attention to the grid.
Okay.
So you would just click and hold these. However, it does matter which ones most left. So for
Okay.
example, this one here, if I align, I need to switch this back to selection.
Mhm.
If I align this left, it's gonna go all the way over here.
Oh, okay.
So what I'll do sometimes first is I'll move this to where I want it, and then I'll move this one like way out just to be dramatic, and I'll press and hold it, and then do that, and then that gets it to where it is. So like these two, when I do it, it's gonna align to the mission text because it's the leftmost. If I
Okay.
align it to the right, nothing's gonna happen because they're the same size, I think, but let me see. Oh, no, see? So it aligned to the bottom text because the bottom text is the rightmost object.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So let's do it to the left. This one too. Just gonna move it over and then move this one over and then do the same thing. Left. Okay, that looks pretty good.
Mhm.
Okay, so I don't think that you'll be spending time creating icons.
Yeah.
If you do, just let me know and I will
I
walk you
will.
through that. But for now, we're gonna put images.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and download some images. If I don't, do you guys use Shutterstock or anything like that?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, no
Um,
problem.
that's definitely a
Um,
question for Bree. Sorry.
oh yeah, no problem. So let's just pretend I'm gonna find these images from Google. So
Okay.
what is that called? A megaphone?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that I have a megaphone here. Downloading this one. And then I'm gonna get my other images while I'm here. So what is that? Texting?
Yeah. That's what I would say
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
And then I can't tell what's above mission. It looks like,
It's like people coming together, right?
okay.
Like all their hands.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So did somebody
Uh,
like create, I guess, did you create those?
no, I didn't. I just found this online.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Um, but you'll likely be working with actual images and not like
Mhm.
drawn on images. So that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah. I know I work with like the logo images and stuff like that. They already have those in the InDesign, I believe.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't really know. I'll ask Brie once I get I'm gonna write a note about that.
yeah, definitely. Um, I'm gonna use this one. Okay, that looks like it's it. Okay, so I have some images that I just downloaded from the internet. So what we're gonna do, this is gonna be the part where you are, what I think you're gonna be working on the most. So make sure
Mhm.
you make note of that. Where
Okay.
are we? It's at 2:40. This is where I started talking about it. So um, you are going to click this one right
Okay.
above the rectangle tool, the frame tool. The
Mhm.
frame tool is basically going to help you with layout.
Okay.
So this is the where my image is going to go. So in order to get an image on here, I'm going to hit Control V and it's going to get me to where I can upload an image, right?
Mhm.
Another way of doing that is by going to File and then Place. But once you start working more in InDesign, you're gonna get to know the hotkeys really well.
Mhm.
But it's basically File, Place, and then you're gonna go to where you have your images. So I just
Okay.
downloaded these quickly for
Mhm.
this demo. Um, so it's a megaphone. I'm gonna go ahead and import that. And then you'll notice that it's way too big.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is hit Control Alt Shift E. But I wonder where that is. I don't remember how I learned that, but
No, you're
I
good.
just,
What was the, I'm gonna write that down. What was the keys for it?
yeah, Control Alt Shift E.
And you said like E as in like elephant or D?
Yes, E as an elephant.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure I heard that right.
No, yeah, that's perfect.
And this is to like for the picture to like resize it.
Yeah, so what it is it's going to fit the picture within the frame, no matter the size of your frame. So watch me do that now. So Control Alt Shift E, and then
Okay.
it brings the whole image in.
Okay.
If I had the frame even smaller, and then I clicked on it and did that again, Control Alt Shift E, then it makes
Oh, okay.
the image smaller. Basically, it's getting it into that frame.
Mhm.
It's fitting it all.
Okay.
I seem to have sized it almost pretty perfectly. So I'm trying to make it so that we can see what happens when you do something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then you do that. So then see, you have all this like space on top and the bottom.
Mhm.
That only works. Basically, it's like fit. You know, when you're trying to print something and you want it to all fit on the page,
Yeah.
that's basically what's happening.
Okay.
Um, so like, let's make this bigger again. And I'm gonna scoot that down. Do it again, Control Alt Shift E. It fits in my frame, but
Mhm.
let's say I kind of wanted it bigger and I didn't want this person's elbow so much in it, but I want the
Yeah.
frame to stay the same. I want it to be right there.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double click inside and make sure that I have the image itself clicked. So right
Mhm.
now you can tell that I have just the frame clicked. But if I double click and make sure that I click on the image, this orange selection will come up. And that's how I know that the image is selected.
Okay.
Um, so if you just grab a toggle point from anywhere, you're
Mhm.
gonna want to hit shift at the same time. Otherwise, if you don't, then that happens. So I'm gonna hit hold shift so that it can keep the sizing, see?
Okay.
And then when I don't do that, this is what happens. So if I hold shift, then that happens. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna, while the hand is on there, I'm just gonna
Mhm.
drag that down. And that looks pretty good to me. If I scroll out and I hit W, oops, if I scroll out and hit W, looks pretty good.
Mhm.
So same over here. Let's do another image. So I'm going to walk you through it one more time. So I'm going to hit the rectangle, which is F, the rectangle frame tool, not the rectangle tool, the rectangle
Okay.
frame tool.
Okay.
So by hitting F, and then I'm going to keep it inside the margin here, and I'm going to try my best to do it, align it to this, but if not, we can always align it later.
Okay.
Do something like that. And it does a pretty good job at aligning things for you. See that green line that toggles on and off
Yeah.
when I'm perfectly aligned with something.
Mhm.
So I want to align it there and align it here. Okay, so then I'm going to hit Control D or File Place.
You said it's
And now
Control B, like violin.
D like dog.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
And that's to like get an image.
Yep. But it
Okay.
only works if you have a frame to put it in.
Okay.
So what's the next image? Do you remember? It's a phone.
A phone, is that right?
Hmm. So let's put that in there. And it's not there. It is, but it's just too big. We can't see it. And if I hit the selection tool,
Mhm.
and then double click inside, I can see that it's way too big. It's not,
Yeah.
oh, there it is. This entire thing. So I can, drag this down, hold shift while it goes down,
Oh.
or do click it and then hit Control Alt Shift E. So see that there.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's not really what I want, right? I want it to fill this entire text box. So what I'm going to do is click on this frame, double click inside to make sure that this image is being selected. And I'm just going to drag it up to fill the frame while holding down shift. So if I do that on here and on the bottom, then that's kind of better. That's what I want.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we have this next image. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what to do here?
Yes. So you go to the frame or rectangular frame. Is that what it's called, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, rectangle. Yeah, that one. Click on that, and then you'll try to line it up with like the wording on
Okay,
there.
where should I stop?
Go to the purple line. The
Margin.
what's it called? Yeah,
Margin.
right. Margin. Go to the margin.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't
No,
remember what
you're
it's
fine.
called. Go to the margin, and then you're gonna hit Control Alt Shift E for
Nope.
an image. Oh, not for an image.
Well, we don't have an
Control
image.
D,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
Control D, and then yeah, the hands right there. And then that's when you do the Control Alt Shift E to like get it. Yeah.
Yep.
And then to size it more into the frame, you're gonna click on the picture itself, double click maybe,
Mhm.
and then hit shift,
Okay.
and then you're gonna drag it out to where you kind of want, yeah, to where it kind of fits the box. Yeah. And then I
Okay.
think that's good, right?
Mhm. Okay, let's do it again over here.
Okay. You're gonna go to the rectangular frame tool.
F.
F, that's what it's
Mhm.
called? Okay. F.
Well, F is the hotkey.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So then F, and then you're gonna start with the margin and kind of line it up with the user friendly and then the other text as well.
Okay.
And then you're gonna hit, it's Control D.
1 second. Okay.
And then, well, was it the letters, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's gonna be Control Alt Shift E to get the picture to fit. And
Hmm.
then to do like to make it fit the box, it'll be, oh, wait, you click on the picture itself, double click. Right? Oh, wait,
But check my toolbox,
your toolbox.
which is this
Oh,
is
you
the
need to click on
toolbox.
the top arrow, right?
Hmm.
Up there. Click on that one and then double click. And then you're gonna hit shift and then drag it to fit the box. And then maybe drag it over a little bit so that
Hmm.
and then I think that's good. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think that was really good. So now
I think just once I like get the keys down and kind of learn them, I think it'll be a lot
yeah,
easier to
I
remember.
absolutely. Once you start doing it, it's the best way to start learning.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I hit W, it's going to show me what it would look like
Yes.
if I didn't have any of these tools helping me see. Ah,
Okay, yeah, that looks good. I like
yeah,
that.
it looks really good.
Yeah.
So now I want to export it
Okay.
and, you know, as a PDF or email it to my friends or something like that.
Hmm.
So let's go ahead and the easiest way is Control E for
Okay.
export or File Export.
Okay.
So I'm gonna save it in my downloads here. And then let's title it. So let's title it, how do you say your name?
Rayanna.
Rayanna?
Mhm.
Okay, Rayanna InDesign trial test. What do you want to call
That
it?
works.
Okay,
We do trial, yeah.
okay, trial. Okay, and InDesign is always in, and then design. The D is always capitalized.
Okay.
InDesign trial. So and then you'll see here it says save as type. Automatically it should say PDF, but if it's not, make sure that it's on PDF. And we
Okay.
want print, not interactive, print.
Okay.
So PDF print.
So
Use
PDF print.
mhm.
Always save it as PDF print.
That depends on what you want to do. But if we're gonna
Okay.
print it and email it to people, then that's what we're gonna do, PDF print. Let's say, for example, they want you to export it as a PDF. What
Okay.
they mean is PDF print. They never mean
Okay.
PDF interactive.
Okay.
Interactive is like for when you start publishing books on like for e-readers and stuff.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
yeah. So, and then it says use InDesign document name as the output file name.
Okay.
So that would happen if it did actually do that at first. It said untitled one because our document name we never titled it. It's called untitled one.
Okay.
So this doesn't matter too much because you're going to rename it either way.
Yeah.
So go ahead and save that. So this is the part that you do need to pay attention to. So when you export it, you can either export it as a pages or spreads.
Okay.
We're going to export it as pages because again, spreads is for facing pages.
Okay.
So we're going to do pages. In this case, we are going to do range because I don't want to export that second page where I have the example.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to hit range, and instead of all pages, I'm going to click inside and just hit the number 1.
Okay.
Okay, so then the next thing is marks and bleeds right here.
I'm sorry, before you get to that though, so say
Mhm.
like I didn't want to do my first page and I wanted to do like the second page, would
Mhm.
you put 2 in the range and then that export? Okay, I just wanted to
Exactly.
make, okay, perfect.
Yep.
Sorry, continue.
Nope, that's a great question. And then I think on default, it won't be toggled on view PDF after exporting. I always love to look at it afterwards, so I have
Mhm.
it toggled on. I have that checked on.
Okay.
Then we're going to go to marks and bleeds
Mhm.
because again, we do want that full bleed. We want that color all the way to the end.
Mhm.
So we're going to make sure that this is toggled on.
Okay.
If it's not, then it'll export it. But then again, you won't have that extra space to cut off when
Mhm.
you want to cut it off. So we're gonna
Okay.
go ahead and use it, and I'm gonna hit export. So up here, I can tell that it's working. Sometimes I click on it. Sorry, you'll see like a small thing here that means it's exporting. For longer projects. It's gonna keep going and going, and if you click on it, then you can see the progress.
Okay.
In this case, because I selected view PDF after exporting, I it immediately came up, right? It came up here as my on the PDF reader. So even though I didn't have this open, it just opened it for me. So
Okay.
I do like it. If I hit Control 0, it should put everything back into perspective.
Mhm.
So like let's say I'm over here under accessible. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that Adobe products are not cohesive, because in order to scroll in, zoom in and out, instead of hitting Alt and scrolly wheel like in InDesign, I have to hit Control and scrolly wheel,
Okay.
which you'll start learning the differences later. But like let's say
Okay.
I'm in here and I'm like, I just need to get back out. Control 0 will get me back
Okay.
out.
Okay.
That does not work in InDesign.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But it does work here, and it does work in Photoshop, and it does work in Illustrator. So I don't know why it doesn't work in InDesign, but I think this looks great. I'm
Mhm.
kind of personally a stickler. I don't like what's going on here.
Yeah,
If you can see,
like all the lines.
it just seems awkward here. I'm not sure what's going on. So an easy way to fix that is go here and then make sure that this one's on top. So if I go to my layers in my background layer, this top green one, I'm just gonna make sure that it's on top. I'm not gonna go above these because I think these are images. And if I
Yeah.
go above, yeah, those are images. So I'm gonna go back down. And then I'm just gonna make that, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, just make this a little bit like that. And that
Okay.
should get rid of that little thing and then
Yeah.
export it again. So Control E. What I do is I just hit the same file
Okay.
and then I go into the file name and I do -version 2
Okay.
because sometimes you want to go back to the first one. Sometimes you'll have clients or you'll have your bosses who say, actually, I like the first one.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have to go and do it again.
Yeah,
So,
no.
so yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So just range just the first page, view PDF after exporting,
Okay.
marks and bleeds. Yep, let's use them and export. And again, like click on that, you could see the progress.
Hmm.
Okay, I like that a lot better. And if we, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just my brain, but I can see the difference. So I feel like everybody else can see the difference.
Right.
Yeah, so you can see this, just that little difference. Don't get caught up on those things.
Okay.
Because if you have multiple projects going on, you have to just like crank them out. You don't want
Yeah.
to, right? So something like this, you probably won't be printing in-house
Okay.
because of the bleed. But let's say you have to send them to quick print or you have to send them to like fast signs or something, and you want to have these like beautiful glossy flyers. You're going to
Right.
send them this image. You're going to send them a PDF,
Okay.
and they are going to want to know if it has bleed or not. So when you send it to them, say, yeah, it has 0.125 inch of bleed, which is 1/8 of an inch of bleed.
Okay.
So that means they're going to go in and with their like, I think it's right here where that's going to be cut off. So they'll cut all this after it prints, because even when they print it with their professional printers, it's still going to have um, that white border all along because
Yeah.
printers just don't print to the edge. So that's why we give them that so that they can have that workaround space to be able to cut that off.
Right.
And then you have a really great PDF file. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. This was
Okay.
really cool. I really like this stuff. I've never like done a lot in it. So this was really cool to get to kind of like just get like the basics of it. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
this has been
Uh,
super helpful. I'm really
per
excited for like the next sessions that we'll have too. So
Perfect. I'm gonna stop recording right
okay.
here so that you don't have to sift through too much. I'm gonna go ahead and do I know how to do that? Stop recording.